ॐ विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यन्निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिरिवोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया यस्साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्र्यचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यपि महायोगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः 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 सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ॐ वर्स् 22 घटे द्विगुणचैतन्यं यथा बाह्ये तथान्तरे वृत्तिष्वपि ततस्तत्र वैषद्यं सन्धितोऽधिकम्. So after differentiating Chit and Chidabhasa, so with respect to this external experiences like pot experience, etc., now Vidyaranya has come to the discussion of Chit and Chidabhasa with respect to internal experiences. So he wants to differentiate the function of Chit and Chidabhasa. So we know the difference in nature of both based on the function. So he says Chidabhasa is prominent when internal vrittis like Kama, Krodha, etc. are there. Because mind is active. So vrittis are there. Upon vritti and the mind, Chidabhasa is present. And so that is how, well, definitely Chidabhasa is predominant there. Generally, Chit is present everywhere. And so, but Chidabhasa also is present in the vritti. And so in all such experiences, Chidabhasa is prominent. Chit is in the background, as though non-existent. As though. Chit cannot be. So as though. So we say experience of a Chidabhasa is there in all these experiences. On the other hand, when there is a silence between the thoughts, silence experience in Jagrata Avastha between two thoughts, etc., which is that deliberately you create a silence. Create a silence means you become aware of the silence between the thoughts. Or Sushupti, or Murcha, or Samadhi. Well, during that, thoughts are resolved. So mind is as though mind is inactive, let us say. Because activity of the mind is generated by the vrittis. So vrittis are also not there. So mind is passive, resolved as though unmanifest, we can say. And so during silence, mind is passive. So when mind is well passive, unmanifest, Chidabhasa is unmanifest. And whatever is unmanifest, will take it as absent. It's not really absent. Any unmanifest thing will take it as good as absent. Any unmanifest thing that in fact I need not tell also. You take it as absent. Really. Several examples are there where you even though thing is there but unmanifest, you don't think that it is there. And the best example is the presence of a butter in a yogurt. No, you go and buy butter, but you have a lot of yogurt. Why don't you churn and no, it doesn't come. In fact, you search the whole refrigerator, you said butter is not there. Three kilos, or what you can say here, I don't know, 6 pounds, whatever. See, whatever. So that is up to you. But then, yogurt is there, so much yogurt. Still say the butter is not there. Why don't you go and buy from the giant or whatever? This is something I have to say. So anyway, so so this is how it is. Anything which is unmanifest is as good as absent. Because why we say absent? Because it is not experienced. That's it. Simple reason is this. So during silence, Chidabhasa is technically absent. Technically there, but well, as good as absent. That's better way of saying. Just as during emotion, Sakshi was, well, as good as absent because we don't experience like that. Same way, this, the absence of Chidabhasa also, it can be said during the silence and all four states of experiences. Either in a waking state between thoughts, either in a murcha, either in a samadhi, etc., either in a deep sleep state. And this absence of Chidabhasa can be further reinforced in silence by other reason also. Whenever Chidabhasa is active, you experience a sense of location and sense of division also is there. And when there is a silence or a sushupti, or well, etc., or samadhi also, or a murcha, since the Chidabhasa is as good as absent, which is, and therefore you don't have a sense of a division and sense of a location. So, well, so we can very well say, so Chidabhasa is as good as not there. Chidabhasa is absent during those stages, those experiences. So you can say, okay, then that is experience. All these are also experience, Sushupti, etc. And this silence experience during a waking state, and Murcha also is an experience, and Samadhi also is an experience. Now, sense of location is not there, sense of division is not there, and still it is experienced. Well, then that experience is possible by Parishesha Nyaya, by Sakshi alone. And therefore, there are only two things, either Chidabhasa is predominant, either Sakshi is predominant. And therefore, in these four states, well, definitely Sakshi alone is there because there is no sense of division, no sense of location is there. Chidabhasa is a small entity. Therefore, a sense of division also will be there and sense of location also will be there because Chidabhasa has a location. So, I where is identified with as a Chidabhasa, you will have a sense of location. You will have a sense of division also. Sense of division because I am here and you are there. That's a division. That I is Chidabhasa. Why? Because it is Jagrata Avastha. So what? Well, the mind is active. So what? Well, Vritti is there. Vritti is there, then Chidabhasa Pradhanam is there. If Chidabhasa Pradhanam is there, sense of location is there. Sense of division is there. So right now Chidabhasa Pradhanam. Experience. So Chit is there. But since, there is a predominance of Chidabhasa, so definitely we say Chit is as good as not. There means like that we have as good as. We should not say like that, but anyway. Okay. Who is experiencing silence? Well, Sakshi is experiencing silence. If Sakshi is experiencing silence, then also division will be there. Sakshi is the one who experiences, and silence is an object of experience. Then, now tell. You say division is not there, etc. in silence, but division is very much there. So Chidabhasa will be there. What to say now? Sakshi experience and silence experience is one alone. Sakshi experience and silence experience is one alone. Why? What is the division in silence? Please tell me. What is the division? What's the division in silence? There is no division in silence. And therefore, whenever you experience silence, either in waking state or of a deep sleep state, It is an experience of a Sakshi. Experience of a silence is experience of a Sakshi. There is no division. Only after waking up from the Sushupti, you infer deep sleep state. Now Chidabhasa is active. And then you talk about some potential division in Sushupti, etc., whatever. So that division, division even in the deep sleep state, there is no division, there is a silence. But then, even if you talk about that, you always talk in a waking state when the Chidabhasa is Pradhana. So Vidyaranya concludes Sakshi experience can be discerned in form of a silence experience during Jagrata Avastha, we call thoughtless state, or during Sushupti, or during Murcha, or during Samadhi. Chidabhasa experience can be discerned during experience of emotions. So emotional experience of emotions are Chidabhasa Pradhana. Silence experience is Sakshi Pradhana. And therefore, since Sakshi experience and silence experience is a one alone, there is no division of an experiencer and an experience object. In silence, you are silence, my sir. Shantaha. That's your nature. Shanti is one's own nature. Even if you want to become Ashantaha, you cannot become. Even if you do sankalpa, let me become restless, you cannot. No, but I become restless. That restlessness is not centered on Sakshi. That restlessness is centered on the mind. Yeah. There is no restlessness centered on the Sakshi. There is just silence. All the sounds, restlessness, etc. arise in that silence and subsides. You are that silence. So, so both in all the time, both will be there. Either Chidabhasa Pradhana, then Sakshi is dormant, or Sakshi Pradhana, then Chidabhasa is dormant. It will be there. So, definitely you can't work for the state of experience, etc., where only Sakshi will be there. No. Suppose you go to a state only when only Sakshi Chit will be there. It's a Marana Avastha, and therefore there is no question of an experience also. Yeah. If Chidabhasa is totally absent, body would not be sentient. We know now very well. In Dragdrisha Viveka we have done lot. So, when Chidabhasa is absent, only Chit is there, then body is not sentient, it is dead body. Because everything basically, all the objects exist in Chit. All the objects are known in Chit. All the objects are known as Chit. Three things are there. All the objects exist in consciousness. All the objects are known in consciousness. All the objects are known as consciousness. That's a thing. That's it. Over. That consciousness is I am Potte. That's it. Claim all the time during waking state. I am silence, limitless consciousness. That's it. Who is a witness consciousness right now with respect to this mind? This is you. This is just you. Any addition is an addition of anatma, non-self in that. Any addition, even a simple addition of a thought, addition of a mind, addition of senses, addition of a body, addition of the world to this consciousness is based on ignorance. You are simple, limitless consciousness. Everything exists in consciousness, non-separate from consciousness. Everything is known in consciousness. Everything is known as consciousness. So, Kevala Sakshi Anubhava will never be possible, won't be there. So what is possible during life is a Sakshi Pradhana Anubhava, which is as good as Sakshi. Chidabhasa being a dormant, as good as absent, you can say, unmanifest. So Sakshi Pradhana Anubhava is there in life, not Kevala Sakshi Anubhava is there. Kevala Sakshi Anubhava is impossible. To experience a Sakshi, one should be alive, right? Anything. One should be sentient enough, at least, to experience even silence. So, Chidabhasa has to be there. So, Bahye Gate Dviguna Chaitanyam Asti. During experience of the pot, well, there is twofold consciousness. I'm reading the verse. So, during experience of a pot, there is twofold consciousness. Thought pervade is pot. Chidabhasa also is there. And so pot has got now twofold consciousness, therefore it is extra bright. We call Vishesha Jnanam. This extra bright means Vishesha Jnanam. And there is a Samanya Jnanam. So tatha in the same way, during emotions experience also, emotion is a particular thought. That thought has twofold consciousness inside the mind. And in that thought, well, Dviguna Chaitanyam is there. Dviguna Chaitanyam, twofold, multitude of consciousness. Sakshi and Abhasa both are there. So that's how he says, Tatha Antare api. Bahye Tatha Antare. So there is twofold consciousness in every emotion. Therefore, emotion is known to you. You get a knowledge of your emotion. Tataha, therefore, Tatra means in Gata Anubhave ya Kama Anubhave. Cha. So during pot experience as well as emotions experience of twofold consciousness, Vaishadyam Vartate. Vaishadyam. We experience extra brilliance in consciousness. Like general sunlight on the wall and reflected sunlight on that patch. You will feel extra brilliance on that patch. Same. So Vaishadyam Vartate, extra brilliance. Vishadaha means either it has a two meaning, either bright or clean. Here we'll take bright. So Vishadasya Bhavaha Vaishadyam. So brightness. So this additional brightness, why you say extra brightness? So with what you are comparing? Sanditaha. This additional brightness is in comparison to the sandhi, comparison to the silence, or experienced during the four conditions. So in those four conditions, four types of experiences, where you experience silence, well, basically there is a general brightness, whereas in these specific knowledges, well, there is an extra brightness. So compared to that sandhi, compared to that silence, compared to the gaps, etc. Here, antarepi, well, in this experience of emotions, etc. Dviguna chaitanyam, twofold consciousness, because Chidabhasa is resolved in silence experience, whereas in experience of emotions, etc. Well, definitely, all the vrittis are there. Kama vritti, Krodha vritti, etc. And therefore Chidabhasa also is present. Chit is already pervading and Chidabhasa is also present, Dviguna Chaitanyam, and therefore a Vishesha Jnanam of emotions take place. Right? Now this is the thing. And we gave a proof that during Sushupti, etc., there is no sense of location or division. And so this thing one has to take care. So who is experiencing silence? So we said Sakshi experiences silence. Experiencing Sakshi experiences silence, then again division is there. Subject-object division is there. If subject-object division is there, definitely then Chidabhasa is also there. And therefore, experience of a silence is an experience of a Sakshi. There is no division in silence. Amatraha chaturthaha. Amatraha. Ayu, etc. Well, this is amatra. Between two omkaras, auma. And between two omkaras there is a silence. Amatraha chaturthaha. While discussing this, we gave example also before that when you vacate the room, all objects are absent. So we say, well, nothing is there in the room. But absence of everything is a presence of a akasha. Akasha cannot be vacated. Same way, here, emptiness of the mind in these four states is fullness of a sakshi. Ah, ah. Totally sakshi is present. Ah, that's it. So emptiness of mind is nothing but the presence of a sakshi, and therefore, well, silence, etc., anubhava is a sakshi anubhava. That's it. And therefore, and nobody can say that I have not experienced sushupti, I have not experienced silence. Everyone has experienced silence. Everyone, nobody lacks sakshi anubhava. Everybody has got a sakshi anubhava, advaita anubhava. In silence, there is no division, advaita anubhava. That is sakshi. The silence is sakshi, advaita, non-dual. No experiencer experienced division. So only what we lack is a understanding that, well, that sakshi is my real nature. That silence is my real nature. Chidabhasa is an incidental nature. As the vritti arises. When Jagrata Avastha goes, Sushupti comes, then Chidabhasa also goes. So Chidabhasa, well, I say I am Chidabhasa. Fine, very nice. I am Waker. Yeah, good. So that's your incidental nature. Sakshi is your real nature. It is there when Chidabhasa is there. It is there when the Chidabhasa is not there. And therefore, due to Sakshi, well, when the mind is empty totally, there is a presence of a Sakshi. So this is what, this understanding is given by the Shastra, Pramana. Anyway, so Sandhitaha means compared to silence. Compared to silence, there is a Dviguna Chaitanya, experience of emotions, etc. Verse 23. Jnatata jnatate nastah gatavadvrittishu kvachit swasya svena grihitatvat tabhischajnananashanat. So Vidyaranya has made clear, Sakshi Anubhava is clear now. No one can say I don't have a Sakshi Anubhava. I know a lot about Sakshi, but I don't have still Anubhava of a Sakshi. That's not correct. Sakshi Anubhava is there. Understanding of that Anubhava is lacking. So please don't work. You need not work for Sakshi Anubhava. So we said that, then one person said, well, I am not satisfied with your explanation. Basically, I am not satisfied with his Sushupti Anubhava, but I want to go to, Nirvikalpaka Samadhi. That I would like. Sushupti Anubhava, and then you wake and then you say, well, there was silence and then nothing was there in the mind was empty and only Sakshi was present. Like Akasha was present when the room was empty, all that, but I am not happy with this. I want to go to Nirvikalpa Samadhi and experience pure Sakshi, etc. We say we are not against. If you want to work for Samadhi, you can. Sakshi Anubhava is there even without going to the Samadhi. In other states are also there. And so Vidyaranya makes some incidental point now. Means we need not discuss now. We know all these things. Even in a samadhi also, the vrittis will be there in the subconscious mind. I told everything, and therefore Chidabhasa also will be there. Chidabhasa is only a dormant thing. So that is there. Just Sakshi is present in samadhi. So when you come out of the samadhi, well, you talk about samadhi means you have an experience. Therefore vritti must be there. Therefore Chidabhasa also must be there. But it's a dormant thing. In Sushupti also, Chidabhasa is there, dormant. So even if you go to Nirvikalpa Samadhi, pure Sakshi Anubhava will never be there. The fact that the fellow is sitting in the Samadhi and he is alive, Chidabhasa is very much there. That's it. Well, Chidabhasa is there or not. It is very much there. He is alive, sentient, living being. Okay? Therefore it is there. That's it. If Chidabhasa is totally absent in Samadhi, then and only Sakshi is present, then that person is not in Samadhi, he is dead. He is dead. Gone for good. So, not for good, gone for bad. Okay? So, Vidyaranya makes now some incidental point. Please understand this very well. These are the things never you will find in any bhashyam of any Upanishad. This discussion. Now he makes some incidental point which is very, very interesting. He says when we talk about the pot, it is illumined by Chidabhasa. So unknown condition before and now known condition. Ajnatata, Gnatata. So, and these two conditions of the pot, unknownness and knownness, are revealed by whom? By Sakshi. And the pot itself is revealed by what? Chidabhasa. So, he says pot has two conditions. Ajnatata, Gnatata. So, as long as I have not experienced the pot, it remains unknown state of the pot. Then thought comes and pervades the pot, and then Chidabhasa also pervades, etc. And pot now is known through that Chidabhasa, and now pot gets a new status called knownness. And we discussed this. I hope you remember this point. So now he makes a very subtle difference. He says, in an external world, this is there, what we discussed. But in internal world, what is there? Internal emotions are also objects, like the pot outside. Yeah, emotions are internal object. And for those objects also, there should be knownness and unknownness. Like pot which is external, it's an object. Well, for that, there is a knownness of the pot, unknownness of the pot. Earlier unknownness, then knownness. Same way, emotions also, they are also objects. Yeah, objects. They are internal, that much difference. He says, these two conditions, unknownness and knownness, are not there for internal objects. Amazing. So, because as even emotions rise, they are pervaded by Chidabhasa, they are known then. So right from the birth, emotions are known. They don't have an unknown condition. In case of an external object, they are not born as a known. And as the pot is born, and knownness also, unknownness comes. No. Or as the pot is born, you know it also. No, that is not there. But as the emotion arises, you know. As the pot is born, you need not know. You may not know. As anything is born in the creation, external, it is known. Kya baat hai? It is not so. It's not so. But as any emotion arises, it is known. Emotion is born? No. And therefore, what is born? Yet you don't know. Therefore, it has unknownness. And then, pervasion of a vritti, Chidabhasa, and then again new status, knownness. That is not there so far as emotions are born. As the emotion is born, it is known. So, so there is in knowing external world, there is an effort in time. Until I put forth effort, it won't be known. In case of anger, as even it rises without special effort, well, Chidabhasa is there in the mind throughout, and so as any emotion arises in form of a vritti, Chidabhasa Vyapti also will be there, and Gnatata, knownness, is all the time there. Since they are always known, they are as good as self-effulgent. all the time known. External object, well, unknownness. And then pervasion by vritti and chidabhasa, and then knownness. And therefore it has, unless it is pervaded by vritti, external object is pervaded by vritti and chidabhasa, the part or any object has no capacity to reveal itself to me. Here it is not like that. Emotion arises in your mind without your effort even, and it is known. And therefore, emotion arises in the mind. But Swamiji, still, I don't know emotion. And therefore, well, then I pervade, like the pot is pervaded by vritti and chidabhasa. Same way, emotion has already arisen in the mind, but then that emotion vritti is pervaded by vritti and also chidabhasa, and then that emotion vritti shines. No, as it rises, it is known. Therefore, as though it is self-effulgent. As though it is self-effulgent. So, as good as self-effulgent because of a permanent chidabhasa vyapti. Any emotion arises, vritti, definitely pervaded by chidabhasa only, and therefore the vritti itself is known. So, so we can't say, well, these emotions, etc., are known at a particular time. Process of knowledge called vritti vyapti plus phala vyapti is not involved in internal world, knowing the internal world, experiencing internal world. Whereas knowing the external world, the process of knowledge is involved. So Vidyaranya says, so emotions does not have a ajñātata, unknownness. And therefore you cannot talk about jñātata also, knownness. They are always evident. As they rise, they are known. That's all. They are always evident. That's how we call self-evident, as though self-evident. As though. Really self-evident is only consciousness. Everything is evident to Sakshi ultimately. Please understand this. Everything is evident to Sakshi. But as good as self-evident. Because they are all the time evident. As they rise, as they are born, no. In knowing internal world, you don't put any effort. I mean, this kind of. As it rises, you know. Knowing external world, you put effort. You take the senses along with the mind there, and then it is pervaded by the vritti, and then chidabhasa pervades. So you will know. So that is effort involved. Knowing the part, definitely effort is involved. Knowing anger, what effort is involved? No effort. Knowing your anger, what effort? Knowing no effort is involved. So that is how knownness and knownness, etc., is true with respect to external world. Here, in internal world, well, there is no ajñātata, there is no unknownness. Well, there is no knownness also. So that's how we say, like, they give an example. Earth has we say Earth has a night. So you can talk about a daytime on the Earth. Oh, right now we have a day, and in India there is a night on the Earth. That's very much true. But so far as the sun itself is concerned, day-night cannot be used. That is what it is. So far as the external world is concerned, there is an unknownness. Before you put an effort in terms of pervading that object through the vritti, and then chidabhasa will make it reveal to you, etc., etc. Till then, in external world, there is a knownness. And therefore, you should talk about knownness also. If you talk about a night on the earth, then you can talk about a day also on the earth. But from the sun standpoint, day and night, and nothing is there. So, sun is as though self-effulgent, and therefore there is nothing like that. Night and day. Same way here, the vritti which is arising rises with the with the chidabhasa in the mind. internal world. And therefore, well, it is all the time known only. And therefore, since Ajnatata is not there, we will not talk about Ajnatata, the other condition also. So that's what he says here. Vrittishu, in context of these emotional thoughts, Antarvrittishu, in context of these emotional thoughts, Jnatata, Ajnatata, Ajnatata, so combined together, is a iterator dhandva. Jnatata cha, Ajnatata cha, Jnatata, Jnatate. Nastaha, there cannot be unknownness. You can't talk about knownness also. So mind and emotions are almost like Atma, almost like Atma. Mind is always evident because pervaded by Chidabhasa. Unlike pot, which has got knownness and unknownness. Vidyaranya gives reason that pot becomes known when thought is pervaded by the pot, or pot is pervaded by the thought, and with the Chidabhasa. Thought pervades the pot, not pot is pervaded by thought. The thought is pervaded by pot. That is not correct. Anyway, so definitely that's an effort. That's an effort because the object is outside. That's the thing. So, so that is, this is the difference. And then he says, well, if you think that every emotion also is also a vritti, and well, that also like a pot is to be pervaded by that vritti. Same way, emotion also is to be pervaded by the vritti. Then only we will know that vritti, kama, etc. So vritti is to be, if pot is there, it is to be pervaded by a vritti, and then Chidabhasa definitely will be there along with, and then the pot is revealed. Now kama vritti. That kama vritti is there, but it has a condition called ajnatata, right? So it has to be pervaded. Like the pot has a condition ajnatata. Now vritti pervades it. And then Chidabhasa reveals it and becomes now unknownness. Same way Kama Vritti also has unknownness. It has arisen, but it has unknownness. Okay, now it is to be pervaded by Vritti, right? Like a pot has to be pervaded by Vritti. Same way Kama Vritti is to be pervaded by Vritti. Now that Vritti, the second, it should be a second Vritti or the same Vritti. Kama Vritti is pervaded by the same Vritti, or Kama Vritti should be pervaded by this other Vritti? Naturally by other vritti. What is to be pervaded by the vritti, so that is other than that. Same way kama vritti is ultimately you want to know now kama which is arising in your mind. So that kama vritti has to be pervaded by vritti. Then Chidabhasa in that vritti reveals kama, and then you will know. Okay, so that kama vritti which is unknown now, is to be pervaded by another vritti. Because same vritti cannot pervade. Pervader and pervaded cannot be one. And therefore, like the pot and the pot thought are two different things. Pot is one which is pervaded, and this vritti which pervades. Same way, kama vritti, it has unknownness. In order to make it known, vritti vyapti, phala vyapti should come. And therefore, kama vritti plus another vritti should be there, because same vritti cannot be pervader and pervaded. Another vritti should be there. Okay, now that vritti pervades the kama vritti. Now this vritti is there, how will you know? How will you know that vritti? Kama vritti is pervaded by other vritti. But that other vritti is there, how will you know that other vritti is there? Oh, that vritti is to be pervaded by another vritti with the Chidabhasa, of course. How that third vritti is there, how will you know that there is a third vritti which pervades that second vritti pervades the kama vritti, first vritti? How will you know? Oh, that is to be known by another vritti. What is this? What are you talking? What are you talking? And therefore, basically, there will be anavastha dosha. Since vritti cannot be pervaded by vritti, and you cannot say now it is known, right? So, swasya, we have to say this. Because if vritti does not pervade, you will not say it is known. Like pot is not pervaded by the vritti, that pot will be what? Not known. So kama vritti has unknown status. Now another vritti basically doesn't pervade it, then kama vritti is not known. So means you can't talk about a kama krodha. I'm just saying kama vritti. Any emotion you cannot talk about it because it is not pervaded by vritti. Kama vritti is not pervaded by vritti because when we talk about another vritti, then anavastha comes. And therefore, stop. Then okay, that kama vritti well basically pervades itself. Yeah, what is that? Let me just think. Kama vritti is a pervader and kama vritti is pervaded. Yeah, what are you talking? What are you talking? And therefore, kama vritti basically, and with that it is not pervaded by second vritti, then you will never say kama is known in form of a vritti, of course. It's not known. So therefore, you don't know any emotions. Nobody knows one's own emotions. But people talk about their emotions. They write big essays. Therefore, what he says, swasya svena agrihitatvat, since the emotion thought cannot be pervaded by same or a different thought, well, a thought is not pervaded by a thought, then in that case, or emotion thought cannot be pervaded by the same thought or another thought, well, emotions can never be known. Therefore, any emotion is unknown. Kya baat hai? You don't know your emotions? Yeah. Then how will you know your emotion without pervasion by another vritti and chidabhasa? How will you know? The vritti itself is self-effulgent. As the vritti rises with the chidabhasa, and it is known to you. That's it. There is no other explanation. As the vritti rises with the chidabhasa, it is known. So, Vidyaranya says, so don't say it is unknown. Don't say it is unknown. Since another vritti does not pervade along with the chidabhasa, that kama vritti is not pervaded by another vritti with the chidabhasa, kama vritti is not known. Means kama is not known in your mind. But it is known. Then vritti pervasion is not required. What is required in external world is not required in internal world. What is required to know the part externally in form of pervasion of vritti plus chidabhasa, of course, which is not required in case of kama. Kama arises in mind in form of a vritti. As it rises, it is known. Is it clear or not? I hope it is clear. So, Vidyaranya says, Tabihi cha ajnana nashanat, tabihi vrittibihi. As any emotion vritti rises, tabihi, by the same vritti, ajnana nashanat. So, ajnana nashanat means unknownness of that emotion is basically gone. So you cannot say there is unknownness of the vrittis, etc., even without pervaded by any other vritti. Therefore, basically, as the vritti rises, it is known. Therefore, we cannot say there was a ajñātata, etc. Before vritti pervades a pot, there is ajñātata of the pot. And then vritti pervades along with the chidabhasa, pot knowledge, and therefore now knownness of the pot. That is true. But here in case of emotions, as the vritti rises, well, it is known. And therefore that vritti is not, kama vritti is not pervaded by another vritti. If kama vritti is pervaded by another vritti, then we can say before the pervasion of that kama vritti by another vritti, there is an unknownness of the kama vritti. That is not there. Because as you think of a second vritti, there is a dosha, anavastha. And therefore we have to say, as the vritti rises, it is known. As good as self-effulgent. Clear? Pot is not self-effulgent, and therefore, in order to know the pot, it should be pervaded by vritti plus Chidabhasa. Then pot becomes effulgent. Pot knowledge takes place. But in form of the kama, krodha, etc., well, as it rises, it is known, therefore that vritti must be bright. Right? Vritti must be bright. So, and we give now some more reasons. See, vritti in general or emotions cannot be said unknown because they are bright enough to make the things known. So, then how the vritti itself is called unknown? So, if if lamp illumines the thing around, it must be luminous. So, well, the vrittis also are, as they arises and make you known that about that emotion, the vritti must be luminous. That's what it is. So, self-evident vritti, of course, cannot be unknown. So, ajnatata api nasti. It is self-evident. Ajnatata api nasti means there is no unknownness of these vrittis, and so they are self-evident. As even they rise, they are known. If they are known, means definitely they are bright. And therefore, they should not be pervaded by another vritti and chidabhasa to make them known or to make them bright. Pot is made bright, pot is known because of this vritti vyapti plus phala vyapti, that chidabhasa. That is not the case here. Because as the vritti arises, it arises with the chidabhasa, it's bright enough and you will know it also. Clear? And therefore, you cannot say here ajnatata, which you talk in terms of pot, external. There it is there. Before pervaded by the pot thought, pervaded by the vritti, there is an unknownness of the pot. And now knownness, that is possible. But not in case of internal world. So external objects always have ajnatata, and internal objects always have no ajnatata. They are self-evident. Not only emotions, certain physical conditions are also like that. Pain, hunger, etc. all are like that. As even they rise, they are known. So you don't have to specially illumine the pain. Have you illumined the pain? Pain is there, but unknownness of the pain is there. And now I specially illumine by the pain, by the vritti, pervades the pain, and with chidabhasa in the vritti, then reveals pain. As the pain rises, it is known to you. As the pain, rises, it is known to you. So you don't have to specially illumine the pain. You don't have to take, thought around that pain, vritti, vyapti, etc., and then unknown pain becomes now known. No. As even pain starts, it is evident to you. Right? As even pain starts, it is evident to you. So with respect to this body-mind sense complex, BMI, every object, not outside, with respect to this much, then the whole thing is an object. That every object is evident, unlike the external world. Because it's already sentient. We should understand that. It's already pervaded by Chidabhasa. Anything which is pervaded by Chidabhasa need not be pervaded by Chidabhasa again through vritti. It's so simple to understand. What is not pervaded by Chidabhasa should be pervaded by Chidabhasa in order to make it known through the vritti. What is already pervaded by Chidabhasa need not be pervaded by Chidabhasa. Kya baat hai? Therefore, it is all the time evident. It's evident. Anything arises in this object, body, mind, even pranas, etc., it is evident. As good, what is evident without pervasion of a vritti and Chidabhasa is considered self-evident. We need not have to make it evident through vritti. Therefore it is self-evident. As good as. Because Chidabhasa is right there. Sentience is there. Consciousness is there. But so Chidabhasa pervades it, and therefore it is evident. 24. This is very, this we have never thought like this, what Vidyaranya thinks. My God. Big difference between internal world and external world. द्विगुणीकृत चैतन्ये जन्मनाशानुभूतितः अकूटस्थं तदन्यत्तु कूटस्थमविकारतः. So he progresses further now, slowly, step by step, small step he goes. See, he has stated that all specific experiences relating to external and internal world are Chidabhasa Pradhana. Please understand this. So they are all Chidabhasa Pradhana. Whereas experience of a absence of an experience, that is a silence experience, is Chit Pradhana. This will solve a very big issue. I want to experience Atma. One who says, I want to experience Atma, he is in a big trip. He will never come to a real Vedanta. So, all experiences, internal, external experiences pertaining to objects, internal objects, external objects, are Chidabhasa Pradhana. The very absence of experience is experienced by Chit. That silence is experienced by Chit. Silence means an absence of experience. Sushupti, absence of experience. Samadhi, experience of absence of experience. No, but you said Samadhi is an experience. Yes. Experience of a non-experience. Yeah. Experience of an absence of experience. That is Samadhi. That is Sushupti. That is the silence between two thoughts. Right? You say, I experience between two thoughts what? Silence. Silence means what? No specific experience. Yeah. So, absence of experience is experienced, revealed by Sakshi. And that Sakshi is experiencing the absence of experience. We should not say there is a division. I already told to you. Because there is no division there of experiencer and experienced. And therefore, that silence experience, absence of experience, experience of an absence of experience is a Sakshi experience. Therefore, the people who are waiting for the experience of a Sakshi, they will never experience. Because to experience to have an experience of a Sakshi, you need Chidabhasa now. As per your requirement, you bring Chidabhasa. You make Chidabhasa Pradhana. If you make Chidabhasa as a Pradhana, Sakshi goes down. Could you follow or not what I am saying? Whole spiritual world, everyone talks about a experience of this Brahman, experience of a Sakshi, experience of a Paramatma. They call Ishwar Sakshatkara, whatever you want to say. A specific experience is Chidabhasa Pradhana. Therefore, if you are waiting for a Vishesha Anubhava of a Sakshi, you are pushing Sakshi into dormancy. This one thing, let me tell you very frankly, this one thing is not clear to many senior students also. Many senior students. Swamiji, you should not say, I have to tell, in as much as in Sanskrit, in the Satsanga I get this question, Swamiji, everything is true. What you say, everything is true. It is logical, everything is true. But then how to experience? all internal, external objects experience need Chidabhasa, Chidabhasa Pradhana experience. Whether you experience emotion internally, Chidabhasa Pradhana. Whether you experience your hunger, thirst, Chidabhasa Pradhana. Where you experience your body, it is Chidabhasa Pradhana. You experience external world, Chidabhasa Pradhana. Experience your senses, conditions of the senses, Chidabhasa Pradhana. Experience of Sakshi, Chidabhasa Pradhana. You experience Chidabhasa Pradhana means you experience yourself as a Chidabhasa. Where is the experience of Sakshi? If either of them will be predominant, other will be dormant. And therefore, you have to basically get rid of all experiences, absence of experiences, called silence, to experience Sakshi. Don't ask for experience of a Sakshi. The very silence of experience is the experience of a Sakshi. That's it. That's it. Experience of a silence is an experience of a Sakshi. That's it. Oh, that is experience of a Sakshi? I don't know. That is true. You experience Sakshi, you don't know. Don't say, I want to experience Sakshi. You say, I don't know in which experience Sakshi is present. Or Sakshi Pradhana experience, let us say. When Sakshi Pradhana experience, Chidabhasa has become unmanifest, dormant, as good as absent. We have discussed that. That's the only thing. That's the only thing. Never ask about a specific experience of a Sakshi. If you are really looking for experience of a Sakshi, immediately you call for an object. When you say experience, you will say object of experience. That's another issue. I don't want to go into that. But when you don't, that's how people are waiting for that samadhi. You need not. You need not. Because like samadhi, there is a sushupti, like, but that is there, sushupti. But I don't have self-realization. Sushupti is already there. Whereas in samadhi, I have a self-realization. Yeah, but you experience Sakshi in a deep sleep state and that you analyze in light of Vedanta. That is what to be done. You are not doing an analysis of the daily experience and you want a specific experience now. Thinking that I will experience Sakshi during samadhi and with a waking mind, with a conscious mind which is active. Yeah, when the mind is active, always Chidabhasa Pradhana. It is always Chidabhasa Pradhana. Sakshi, you will have to dive. You have to push aside somewhere Chidabhasa and go into that. How will you go? With a conscious mind. It's not possible. You wake up, you come out of the samadhi and you say, well, what I experience in the samadhi is a non-dual experience, etc. You can say. Then that you can say even from the sushupti also. When you come out, you can say, I have an experience of a non-duality because I was very much there and there is nothing other than me. I was having no dimension and I revealed the blankness, silence, etc. You can say very well. Why do you want a samadhi? Pure Sakshi experience. Never be possible. Huh? Chidabhasa will be there, dormant. It will be there. Otherwise, Nirvikalpa Samadhi becomes is a experience in which person will leave, go. That's not possible. So, to experience the silence, absence of experience, is the experience of a Sakshi. You don't need experience of a Sakshi specifically. Only these states you analyze properly. That's it. Leaving aside even samadhi. That's how Vedanta never advocates Nirvikalpa Samadhi. No, but some of the acharyas talk about. So if they have a yoga they have a samskar of the yoga, etc., they may talk. Vidyaranya talks in the first chapter itself. And that samadhi is just a outcome, is a culmination of a nididhyasana. Samadhi is a state of an absorption. Yeah. An absorption takes place. In absorption, there is no effort involved, no free will. If free will is there on the part of meditator, then there is a divisions are there, vikalpas are there, dhyata, dhyayam, etc. In dhyanam, you have an effort. Even in a focusing, etc., you have an effort. Dharana, you have effort. Samadhi is just a outcome. Mind has a tendency to retain the thought. It registers the thought and that thought is retained. Then that thought continues in a subconscious mind. That's called absorption. And therefore, basically, even in a samadhi also, your mind is very much there, but at the same time, mind will not have any sthula vritti. Will not have any. If sthula vrittis are there, that's a waking state. So this is, anyway. So there is, so here he says, so all these specific experiences, relating to external internal world is Chidabhasa Pradhana, whereas silence experience is a Chit Pradhana. And on all such specific experiences, well, Chidabhasa Pradhana wise, we say because basically there is a sense of division, there is a sense of a localization, etc., location, etc. And also it is brighter. And therefore twofold consciousness is also there. Whereas in silence experience, there is no sense of a division, no sense of a location, there is no specific knowledge. General light is there, diffused light is there. In silence, there is no knowledge. No knowledge means no specific knowledge. Between two thoughts, when the thought is there, specific knowledge, because Chidabhasa plus Chit, extra brightness. Another thought, again, Chidabhasa plus Chit, extra brightness, Vishesha Jnanam, pertaining to the thought. But between two thoughts, still that silence is revealed. It is a diffused light, no specific knowledge. And therefore, so definitely that Sakshi is very much there. Then anyway, I wanted to say something, but now the time is over. We'll see next. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.